Hello everyone, my name is Susit Pansalavatta, and in this session I'll be talking about applications of Skype for Business Web API. What is Skype for Business Web API? It's an application programming interface, in other words an API, for web development for applications that use Skype for Business. If you're not familiar with what Skype for Business is, you should refer to the other video that I posted, which talks extensively about Skype for Business and its capabilities and its usage. The Skype for Business Web API is part of the larger umbrella, the Unified Communications Web API, also known as UCWA, which is made available by Microsoft. Capabilities of Skype for Business Web API. The API exposes some of these below key areas of the Skype for Business web application. So these areas, earlier it's available only in the graphical user interface, but now through this API, these key features are available through the API for other applications to leverage. So one of the areas is contacts. So the API lets you get the details about contacts of a specific Skype user. Instant messaging lets you implement an instant messaging platform between two Skype for Business users. Scheduling a meeting, that module lets creation of new meeting sessions, Skype for Business meeting sessions programmatically. The presence module lets you get or set the presence as online, busy, awake, etc. Out of these features, the ability to create Skype for Business meetings programmatically is one of the important features, because now you don't have to go into the graphical user interface to create the Skype for Business meetings. You can have your program do it and have those URLs available to your program to be used. This can be used in a situation where you click a button, you join the meeting. The API is HTTP based, which makes it platform independent. So regardless whether it's in Windows or Linux or any other environment, the API would work. This is not to be confused with the actual web application. The application has limitations on different devices, but the API would work on regardless of the platform. Next, I'll be doing a demo on how to run a test application using the Unified Communication Web API. Information about implementing the Skype for Business Web API can be found in this website, ucwa.skype.com, and you can sign in using a Microsoft account. So if you have an account, you can use that. Or if you don't, you'll have to create one. So once you signed in, you'll see these details about how to run the samples, and they provide the sample authentication tokens to test our application. So these tokens are valid for I believe 8 hours. So you have plenty of time to get these tokens and apply it to your application and make it work. So this is my locally hosted test application. In order to host this test application, you would have to configure Windows IIS server. To do that, you will, if it is not already enabled in your machine, you would have to go to Control Panel and Programs, turn Windows features on or off, and then under Internet Information Services, make sure that button is clicked. So now the Internet Information Services is on. You will be able to use the IIS server, which would look like something like this when you type localhost. And this is my landing page for the test application. So I'll select the developer sandbox and just following the instructions in this Windows page. I'll be entering these credentials. So the domain is meteor.net. In actual implementation, this domain and the token would be your Skype for Business server, in which case you will be creating the tokens against your server, not borrowing tokens from Microsoft account. So it'll take a few seconds to log me in. Once logged in, you will see the modules and the tasks available for you. So different modules such as cache, transport, auto discovery, authentication, all these different modules you can explore to see what each module does. And one of the good features, it provides a detailed description what each module does. And if I switch to tasks, and I can see different options that is available through the web API. So these are options, and you can weave the code by expanding, and it'll show you the actual path where the code is located. So you can use this information to work in your application. And in this case, it gave me the contact information of all the contacts that is related to the token that I used for the user that the token belongs to. So these two users are the contacts of the user that's logged in. So these different options, and one of the important options that I would focus on is the schedule meeting. So you can see that this JavaScript, it's a larger JavaScript library that take care of all these options and pass that information to the Skype for Business server. In this case, it's the test server that Microsoft let me use and create this meeting URL. So this is the URI. And I can use this in my application to create the meeting URL and join the meeting. So instead, if I just click join meeting, notice that the meeting URL is created and I've been directed to that URL. So this is very similar to the previous video. From here you will join this meeting and all the capabilities of Skype for Business will be available for you. Notice that all this happened in the browser. It's not using any native application that's installed in my computer. It's using the web browser through the web API. Skype for Business web API is important in promoting productivity because of many reasons. The web API allows programmers to bypass the graphical user interface and have different applications directly interact with Skype for Business application. Creation of new web applications and websites that uses Skype for Business technology is possible because of the web API. The API can be used to provide better user experience to the end client, having to use only few button clicks when using the software. This can be a web application that uses real-time communication from a website or the web application to Skype for Business platform. It can be directly interacted using the API. Instead of the user has to go to a different portal to open a different application or like an installed application to start the communication. This way, it's directly linked to the application that the user is already using to Skype for Business web application. With proper authentication model in place, this can be tied to the whole Office 365 suite, which enables users to use a single sign-on throughout the application without having to be interrupted. I hope you like the Skype for Business web API and its options to improve the productivity, and hope you will play around with it and come up with many ideas to improve its usage and improve the productivity. Thanks.